Good morning, everybody. It is 10:37 a.m. Mountain Time on Wednesday, August 11th. And man, what a night. We got some big stuff happening right now. Big stuff, big moves happening right now. So, what I want to get into today is I want to just structure into this news, Bitcoin, altcoins, current trades, trade ideas, and that's what I want to talk about today. And we got a big move probably coming again after this move that happened overnight and the last couple days, and in fact the last couple weeks. So we're going to get into that. We're going to go over a bunch of charts. Going to get into all my positions and my main watch list, and what I'm doing with those, and how I'm trading them, and how I'm holding them, and what I'm looking at. So if you like that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it greatly. Next goal is 1,000 subscribers. We're 750 away, so not even barely a quarter of the way there. So long way to go, but it's the goal I have next. So hopefully what I'm putting out there is useful to you guys and everybody who's watching. I think it is. It's useful to me. It helps me focus on the charts and everything. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also remember that nothing in this video is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Everything in this video is for informational and educational purposes only. I'm just a trader, but I do have my opinions and I want to share those with you. So let's get into it. Great day, great night, great thing to wake up to. If you look at it, just looking at these prices, 24-hour gains 35%, everything's up 10%. You know, this is the top 100. You go to the next 100 top coins. You got 72%, 57%, 39%, 33%. Super Farms up 28%. So good night overall. Everything's green. So you know what that usually means, right? Is that usually like then everything turns red the next day. But it's not looking like that. So let's get into the news. All right, and we'll talk about these altcoins and what I'm expecting out of Bitcoin and the altcoin market. But first, let's get into the news. Some big things have happened. First of all, this was mentioned in the Stock Market Mentor Forum the other day. So I've been paying a little bit of attention to XLM, Stellar Lumens. Just what I like to generally share in the news is just more and more adoption, more and more use cases for Bitcoin, institutional buying, things like that. But I want to keep it, to just a few news articles a day. Stellar blockchain remittance corridor to power Thailand, Europe payments. There's also another news article about women and crypto in India. So it's really a chance to give power to women. So a lot happening over there in India, Thailand, Europe. Things like that. The new cross-border remittance corridor will host on the Stellar blockchain and serve around 600 million customers. 600 million customers. So big news for Stellar. Haven't really been following them too closely until lately. I don't hold a position in them. I've had positions in them before, but really big news for Stellar. So and if you know anything about Stellar, one of the previous owners of XRP is who created Stellar, so it's pretty similar. It's super fast, super efficient, super cheap payments that are getting used. XRP and Stellar both have been being used for years, so big news for them. Also, if you haven't heard, Poly Network was hacked. That's not Polygon, it's Poly Network. They don't have a token, but $600 million. So I believe the biggest hack in crypto history. I don't know how true this news headline is, because what's been happening is that people have been giving advice to the hacker, because you could put notes in transactions. So they've been sending these transactions with notes to the hacker, giving them advice on how to avoid getting in trouble. And one wallet got tipped like $42,000 from the hacker for one tip. So now people are like sending all these tips. So I don't know how true this is, because he's taking advice, and he or she is taking advice and sending out tips to people who give him good advice, or her good advice. The Poly Network hacker said they will return the stolen cryptocurrency funds and has asked for a secured multi-sig wallet. I don't know how true that is. He might be playing games, but yeah, it was a $600 million. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's terrible, because people lost a bunch of money. This is one of the things that you got to watch for, especially in speculative crypto projects. I have never heard of Poly Network before this, but big story. Just a reminder to be safe out there. Don't trust everyone. Not lastly in the news, second to last, institutions are buying Bitcoin like it's late 2020. Yeah, this is, instead of going to each individual institutional buying, this is like the headline I wanted to focus on, just because it just shows more and more and more and more institutional buying. So from a fundamental standpoint, if you're still nervous about a drop, like, this is what gives me the fundamentals are what give me the confidence in the charts playing out how they should. Even if they take a drop, I'm still confident in it because of the big institutional buying, and it's still happening even with the bill that has gone through the Senate. Now I think is going to the House. That really is just like a joke. Not for the sake of being biased for crypto, but it's a joke. It just shows how little the U.S. understands crypto and how it works and what it does, because they're literally clueless. The amount of Bitcoin available on derivatives exchanges hits its lowest since May 11, before the China miner route took hold. So that and the supply shock with Ethereum, Ethereum moving off exchanges into private wallets is like the most ever that it's been. I think the most it's ever been. But yeah, just showing that like there's a supply shock. And if you watch my very first video, not the heli-skiing video, which I kept up there just because I like it, but my very first video, I talk about that, the supply and demand, where it's just literally me talking to the camera about supply and demand. And the more people buy this, the less supply there is, the thinner it trades, the quicker it goes up. There's only a limited supply of 21 million. I mean, there's more than 21 million available, but it just would cost more money than you would make in order to mine it, so nobody will end up doing it, and it would take extremely long. The algorithm will get harder and harder. So anyways, lastly, Coinbase Pro set to list IOTX, ORN, Tribe, UST, and Quick. So 2 important ones, right? Because I want to update my top 10 micro caps. I'm going to tell you right now, Quick Swap is going to be one of them. It is the DEX, the decentralized exchange for Polygon. So like Uniswap uses Ethereum, PancakeSwap uses Binance, BNB, QuickSwap uses Polygon, and Polygon is growing and growing and growing. It's still relatively fresh, still relatively new. QuickSwap only has like a $200 million market cap, so pretty big news. Whereas at 237 million, I missed that one. I was looking at it like a month ago, and I just forgot about it. There's too much going on. So you're not going to hit everything. Not going to hit everything, but that's definitely one I'm going to be adding into my top 10, probably my top 5. It's going to be the Uniswap for... It is the Uniswap for Polygon, and Polygon's only going to continue to grow if you pay attention to Polygon. And UST, all right, another stable coin. So why is this big? Because this is the stable coin for Terra Luna, LUNA. So the reason this is important is because every time UST is used in a transaction, Luna is burned, so the supply drops. So that's important. That is big. This may not be like coming across your newsfeed on Twitter or whatnot, but this is big for Luna. And if you know me, like, I have not been able to trade Luna until I recently bought it at just under $10, and then finally it went up, and I'm like, wow, I made money on Luna. Holy crap. It just doesn't flow with me, but hold in Luna. But that's the news for today, right? So big stuff, more and more positive stuff coming out. So let's get into the chart. So what's happening with Bitcoin, right? Is one of the things I said is I think like you don't have negative news, price just goes up forever because there's nothing to stop it. But I think that's what the bill did, is essentially it kept it under this 47,000 resistance level. Funny how stuff like that always lines up with the charts. It just always does. But yeah, we're holding strong under there. It looks like we're about to break through it, in all honesty. I have a buy set in. It'll be one of my last buys, one of my bigger buys. Like I said, I'm 40% cash. Probably 15% of that is in this buy that I have at 47,100, and if it goes down from there and breaks back down, so be it. My average cost basis is around 33,500, 34,000 across 7 or 8 buys that I made from 37,000 down to 31,700, so I'm not too worried about it. And this has been my level that I've been watching for a couple months now. On the upside is when I'll really be bullish. I'm bullish now, but I'll really be bullish then. I don't think I've ever been this bullish, but I'll be even more bullish if it does that. So I kind of want Bitcoin to hang out under 47,000 right here for a while. Why? Because here's the Bitcoin dominance chart, and it's broken down from this. I mean, this is a bear flag. Let's be honest here. This is a bear flag. So broken down from here, looks like altcoins are going to continue to run. There's no reason why I see they wouldn't. And when I'm looking at the charts, it confirms that. So let's start with Ethereum. Now these altcoins that I'm going to go over, I'll tell you that like how I'm managing them, how I'm holding them, what I'm looking for. I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum are just kind of a hold. I wouldn't say forever. I mean, if we go parabolic, I'll sell everything, because we go parabolic, chances are things come down like 75% from that there relatively quickly. I do expect that. So I wouldn't say a hold forever, but Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't really traders for me. Sometimes, yes, when I'm looking for a little less volatility, but usually when I'm trading, I'm looking for volatility and bigger moves. Anyways, yeah, looking at Bitcoin, I'm hoping it holds right here, and the Bitcoin dominance continues to drop, which means altcoins continue to run. If we look at the total market cap before we get into Ethereum, let's see, where is that at? The total 2. We see, that's what we were looking for, a retest of the 1.033 trillion, and we're at 1.037 trillion. We've broken out past that. So next area, we're looking at 1.2 trillion for the entire altcoin market, and there's no signs of slowing down. So I mean, we got a little bit right here at like 1.09, so that's at least worth watching. Had some previous highs right here, so I'd watch it around the 1.09 to 1.12 level to see some slowing down, but it's really not a super strong area. You can see the amount of trading that took place right here is a lot bigger than just a couple candles. So I expect that to continue to go up. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We've been on a pretty significant run, so a pullback wouldn't surprise me, but I've been holding on to most of my stuff. So looking at Ethereum, right, Ethereum's looking really strong, no signs of weakness at all, no signs at all of weakness. We just broke out above the previous days and week high, so looking at the next level of the open of this candle on May 19th, which is 33.76, and I am fairly confident that it'll break that. Ethereum's the next big thing right now with EIP 1559. So much Ethereum has been burned. It was over 23,000 Ethereum as of yesterday, and that's only after a handful of days. So it's going to continue to do that. I don't see why Ethereum wouldn't go to the all-time highs again relatively quickly. I think the remainder of this bull market is going to happen within the next 90 days. I think it'll be over by December, and then we'll go into a downward consolidation accumulation phase again for a year or two. And not going to get too much into that. That's too far out to really focus on, but let's go into the other altcoins. So I do hold Polkadot, one of my favorite long-term holds. And keep in mind, I say long-term holds, but I have never had a long-term capital gain. Just because I've never held anything for more than a year. That's just me. That's not everybody, but I'm going to keep this right here. So we're moving to the upward part of that channel, just staying within that range, slowly grinding up. Nothing too exciting, but up 6.72%. Looking to follow that channel up slowly to around $24.85, $25. Next, you have Uniswap. Uniswap's been trying to break through this 29 area. 29.81 is really the sweet spot. 30, would really show strength. 30, I'd say more is like the spot we want to break through, which would pretty much send it to, there it goes, it wasn't giving me, $35. So still a lot of room for there. And then, obviously you break through that support level. So still holding that. This is kind of the pattern, the bottoming pattern that we've been looking at. Everything on this July 7th or close to it has had a similar looking candle, and everything's been breaking through it. Last to do that has been Cardano. Can't remember the exact date, but it was July 4th for Cardano. Broke through it, and you could see it broke through it with with a message. So Charles Hoskinson got on, talked live on Twitter, started talking about smart contract plans. He's said on Twitter that it's going to happen. I can't believe people are believing that it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Question for me is when. So, but regardless, chart looks really strong. I mean, high volume breakout, textbook what you want to see. We are on the technically the third day. Talked about that a little bit, and Dan talked about that a little bit in Stock Market Mentor Forum. So would I suggest buying it here? No. Could it keep going? Yes. It's one of those that I trade and hold. I bought a big amount of it at 147. Probably jumped the gun a little bit on the breakout because I think 149.8. So in a bull market, you can get away with that. So I got away with it and it worked out. But do hold some of that. Luna, here's what we were talking about. Just one of the first, along with Link, to move in the these big altcoin movements. We talked about UST, so really bullish on that. You could see, we're at this point, 1746 or whatever we hit today, 1749 is a really strong resistance area. But we break that and we probably go straight to 22. So everything's looking strong. Pretty average volume, but it's one of those ones I'm holding because I was in under 10. Talked about the last video, this bull flag, how bull flags work out really well for me. So there's, I jumped the gun on Cardano, I jumped the gun on this, I bought it while it was still in this flag, mainly because it was well above consolidation. It was consolidating well above not well above, but above, like it wasn't touching the 200-day moving average. So I was fairly confident that we were going to break to the upside. I had a plan, to sell to the downside, but we break out of this, we're going to run into the 200-day moving average, which is going to be a strong support. So I felt really good about buying it there. I wanted to get more in depth with that. I'll try and get more in depth with these on my plan for them. I am in a trade on this one. I did take a little bit of profits here, but I am holding the trade just because everything in the altcoin market looks so strong right now. Could come back and bite me. But I do have a stop loss set for that below this high right here of 15,662, which should still put me in the green for the trade that I entered, and I'm well in the green on the shares that I've sold at this resistance area. Little more willing to hold at resistance with as strong as things are and as bullish as things are looking. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I wish I would have talked about a plan a little bit more. Buying the break here, is really where you want to be. But bull flags, have been really, really playing out on everything that I've seen. So it played out on Doge, it played out right here, played out on ICP, which we're going to look at next. Now this is only trade for me. This is only a trade for me, and it is looking good, right? So we're above resistance. Which makes me think I might want to enter back into this. I did close this trade only because ICP has bitten me in the past. I was initially in it at 165, hit my stop loss, lost. Bought it again at 130 or 132, came down to 118. I sold, came down to 117, 116. And I'm like, okay, nice move. And then it ran back up a little bit. And then I said, I'm done with it. It's just not a good one for me. I'm not getting a good read on it. And then just, you see this flag here, just crushed it out of here, and probably enter into this again just because looking at it again, it just looks so solid. I'm going to add, just to be particular with this one, there we go, 70.12. The high of that candle is 72.39. So we get above 72.39. 72.4. So we really start cooking. Maybe I'll watch for that, but a lot of room to run. The supply has been dumped, so I wouldn't expect it to go back to the 200 range. Could it? Possibly. They dumped the supply, and all their supply is now out to help fund the project, I believe, kind of like a secondary offering in the stock world, except they don't have to file for it. They can just do it whenever they want. So yeah, that's where I'm at with ICP. And SNX, this is one, still not really big on it. It is in this bear flag, but everything's been breaking to the upside. And of course, when I haven't been in it, I've been following it, and I stopped following it just because I don't want to overdo it for myself. Of course, when I stopped following it, it's still in range, but it had this nice gain. So could it break upwards out of here? Yeah, everything else has been. This is where I'd probably be looking for it to go to, honestly, is this 1360 area. That's where I'd probably see the first test and then second test. This is what everything's been doing very similarly, and then of course the 200-day moving average. So yeah, I mean, if it breaks up out of here, it's probably going to continue to go. I'm not necessarily looking to buy it, but kind of on the fence about it. I'm not going to force anything, but if it breaks up out of this bear flag, that's when that's when you really start to see like, okay, this is reversing, just like every other altcoin. So I don't see why it wouldn't. I'm just focused on other things right now, but it is still a part. I was going to take it off my watch list. I kept it on my watch list. Next, Solana. It's really nice. I mentioned this Stock Market Mentor Forum, to see something doing exactly, what you expected it to do. Another bull flag here. You see it break out above the 200, above the 50-day. 50-day is now golden crossing the 200. Is that right? Is that the 200-day moving average? Oh no, the 200-day moving average is way down here. So not a golden cross. That's just one of my lines. So, but you can see the 50-day moving average never broke down below the 200-day moving average. At least this is on what exchange? So this is on Binance. So yeah, this has been trading on there for a long time. So the moving averages are legitimate, not just for like 60 days or 90 days. So bull flag, breakout, bull flag, breakout, just doing exactly what you want a trade to do. It's really nice to see that. It came right up to exactly, probably, I think we got into this trade around $36, maybe 34. It might be 36, but this 44.20 is really the mark. The 42 area also is a good spot to take like your first profits if you're on a trade. So like right here, but 44 is really where you're looking for it to test. I trade some, I hold some. Solana is a really good project, and yeah, it's essentially a better Ethereum, but Ethereum's first adopter. Ethereum's got the network, but looking for this to go to 44, where I'll take a little bit of profits on the trade and move my stop loss up. So earn not really any chart lines on this, mainly because it is such a small market cap. It's one of those that I just hold for the project. They're getting more and more signings for professional athletes. Recently, Manny Pacquiao. Before that, it was Leo Messi. So they're getting all the major sports stars sign on with them for NFTs. So really, I didn't get into this till about $10.40, and I'm just holding it because last time it was at $10, and I said, well, I'll buy the dip because it came up from $3 after like a pre-sale of like 25 cents, and then it never dipped. It just ran to $73. So a lot of potential for that one. Super Farm, they're kind of partnered up as well with ERN, but they had a huge pop overnight up to $1.17. And I'll just say it again, this is one of my favorites. I think it could be a top 20. Right now, it's like a $400 million market cap, something around there. But they have a lot of things on the horizon, $285 million market cap. They have a lot of things on the horizon, and really just I like the idea of them. So hopefully they follow through, which I think they will. Elio Trades on Twitter is a really big part of the community, and he generally is really dependable. He's one of the creators, one of the developers of Super Farm. They've already been selling a lot of NFTs, and their gaming is what's big. I won't get too much into that anymore. Polka Starter, what's nice is that on Binance, these levels have been just bouncing off the 7-day simple moving average, which I talk about all the time, the importance of the 7-day, the 25-day, and the 99-day. It's not on here, but if you want to go over to Binance and look at it, you can. Those are the default moving averages that are on their charts, so that's what everybody's looking at on the second biggest exchange. This another bull flag here. I don't have it drawn out, but this is another one that's a low market cap that I just hold. That they were in the top. I guess it's not so low anymore. They were in the top 100 at one point. The only thing I don't like is they have less and less projects launching. I think that'll pick up as the people, which people are already turning more and more and more and more bullish. So this is like they have the top performing launches. They always are up hundreds of percent. The tough part is getting in on them. So anyways, one of my favorite trades that I'm in right now, Filecoin. I've been just following this one for a while. Scott Trades in the Stock Market Mentor Forum was in this way early in the low $20, and yeah, it rode all the way up to $238 with the previous all-time high of like $420, something like that. So the weekly chart, again, is what I really like. This is just a hold. I haven't taken any profits on it yet. We're in the fourth candle of the week, so Hopefully it does it this week. I'm expecting $97, possibly 92. So I'll take first profits in that 92 to 97 range. It could dump from here for all I know. It does happen time to time. We have these, weekly resistance areas of just the highs of these candles. So you can see there. I just don't want to clutter it up too much. And right there. So, if we break through this 77, 72, we should see 90s fairly quickly. 97, I think, is where it will come, because that's where you saw some good resistance the first run up, and on the way down you saw a bounce get rejected at 98. So looking at that, good volume rising, 3 white soldiers on the weekly, so that's a bullish reversal pattern. Really like this one, just trying to stay out of my own way on it. And ENJ, that was another one, kind of looked at same kind of pattern. You got this candle over by July 7th, which is the 8th for ENJ, and it came up on it, and everything's been breaking through it. Not holding this one, but this is one that a lot of people, watch and hold, so I want to keep it on my main watch list. Not holding it only just because, I don't want to get in too much. I don't want to overdo it and be in too many different things. It starts to get a little bit overwhelming. So broke right through this, and now it's looking really likely for around 172 to hit that. So it'd be a good spot to take some profits, just if you're in a trade. If you're a long-term holder, then you're a long-term holder. But you could see how many times it tested this resistance area, so it's going to test it again. People are watching out for that. On to Matic. Can't believe I haven't talked about this more, because I think this is one that pretty much everybody I know holds. Probably just kind of forgot about it, just because it's like one of those, just let it sit and do what it's going to do. I don't really trade it. I just hold it. It's one of those things that I think will be more and more significant. Should be in the top 10 soon. I would expect it to be. Right now it is 18, so to get into the top 10, I have to be, let's see, $15 million market cap, so it'd have to double from here, which I could definitely see it doing. It's been at that price before, and I can see it going further than that. I can see it being like $5, it's just that good of a project. Anyways, where was I? So Matic, just breaking back up above the 50-day moving average, and just completely breaking out here. Don't have a lot of levels shown, but I'll be talking about this more and more. I can't believe I haven't been. But yeah, so we got that right there. That's going to be a little off, but you can see it's hidden resistance from the shelf right here. Move through that, you're probably going to see 171 pretty easily. With how strong it is, I imagine it would break through here, unless Bitcoin dumps, which I don't see that happening, or everything dumps, but everything's looking so strong, I don't see that happening until like another little small run. I'm going to move this, slide it there, because there's some resistance there as well. So yeah, I see that going to 171 in the short term. Long term, that's another one of my long-term holds. Another one haven't talked about too much, this is probably looking stronger than anything, to be honest, is Dogecoin. We're about to break out again. Should move that line up, but I'm just going to add it right here for the short term. Looking at 28,377. Looking really, that's really big move. You can't see it too much in this chart, but there is a bull flag in there, and I've been taking advantage of all the bull flags, and I'm just holding Dogecoin for now. It's one of those ones that's a meme, but it's something to take serious now, pretty much because of Elon Musk's attention brought to it. So we're at this resistance point, and probably going to have to work a little through 28,959 as well. I just don't want to draw too many lines too close together. You can see how that gets kind of cluttered and confusing, but important levels, and we're not really selling off down from them. So everything looking strong. So you heard me talk about ICP. I'm going to look to enter in that. I'm not going to for sure, but the other one that I just entered a trade on is Chainlink. Chainlink has been in the sideways channel. We talked about that, and we just broke out above it with ease. I'm actually going to put that right there. but just broke out above that, and that's why I bought. Said, you know what, if we go above this 25.51, I forget the exact number, but it went above that. It went above the mark that was my buy area. So I just entered this trade. Definitely looking for it to test the 200-day moving average, which right now is at 27,862. And I will look for it to break above that. We're above this. Yeah, we're breaking through resistances. So the next test is going to be the 200-day moving average. I will maybe sell a little bit there. It's just everything's looking so strong now. There's reason to have confidence and still be on the gas right now, with precaution, of course. But this is, the time you should be on the gas already. But there's no reason to let up just yet. I expect a pullback eventually, but there's no signs of it yet. It could happen tonight. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen a week from now. But everything just looks so strong that you should have a little bit of confidence. So that's the only new trade I entered, and then I'll be looking at ICP to enter again. It just scares me a little, so it's a personal thing. I don't want to get too emotional about it, and if I miss it, I miss it. That's kind of like my mentality on it. You see RSI 72. You still see these indicators well within range to continue runs, and Bitcoin too. Their RSI is only at 71, and it's just entering overbought area, but 71 is the low end of overbought, and you've seen these run into the 90s. I think Doge went up to where was it there? I want to say it was 96.55. That's not an exact number, but 96, 97. So these can continue to go. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about with altcoins. Those are my main watch lists. Those are the positions that I'm in and watching closely. Obviously, I'm going to miss some. I don't really follow Theta too much, and I should. There's other ones like DATA data that I don't follow that I should. It just becomes too much. So I'm happy to go over those. So if there are more that you want me to go over, I'm happy to add. You can see my watch list is, I think, a little over 100, and I follow these every day. I think I do the same thing as Dan Fitzpatrick does, is I go and I instantly hit what's the biggest losers, what's the biggest gainers, and then if there's a huge one 38% Falcon swap, that's big, but it's not enormous. And look at that coming off the bottom. Look at that big green candle. That's somebody who bought huge, and look at how low the volume is right now. It's always been relatively under the radar, it looks like, but this could be a good opportunity. And then I go through, if I see 100% gainer, I might go on Twitter and I might cash tag so what happened to FSW? What is there anything out there on any news? Anything relevant? And I'm not going to search through this, but that's what the pumpers straight to the moon mission, straight moon mission. Next is FSW. So I'll scroll through these and look for news, what happened. Same thing with Filecoin is I got in it, I got a little lucky, the chart was looking good, I bought, and then the fundamentals came out with the news with their partnership with Chainlink, and then it took off. So it looks like just a lot of pumping, maybe a chat group found it on the bottom and there's not a lot of volume, so they got their subscribers into it and they pumped it. It's possible. I'm not saying that is what happened, but it looks like a lot of the same guys, and it looks like a lot of the same paid advertisement stuff like this. Looks like we're headed for scam, protect your investments, Falcon swap. So somebody is on. So I go through that. Twitter is, it's a cesspool, but it is helpful. It could be very, very negative, or you can make it positive. So yeah, this guy isn't very big on this not being a scam. So it looks like it's being pumped. Nothing, no real news, but could be an opportunity. I'm not saying it's a scam. I'm not saying it's necessarily being just pumped and dumped, because everything's pumping and not dumping right now. But yeah, it's worth it to go through this watch list. What happened? Is there anything on here that I'm watching? Yeah, and then I'll just go through my main ones. I'll just kind of go through alphabetically and see which charts. I generally look through every chart, but not always. But yeah, anyway, so that's it for today. Again, please hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you have questions, please ask. If there's anything else you want me to cover, please ask. If there's any topic or chart, or there's over 8,800 cryptocurrencies now, so please ask. I'll pick a few out and I'll go over them. And sometimes, it's like I find things that I like and I'm like, wow. There's been multiple times in the Stock Market Mentor Forum that people have mentioned things. I've looked at them, I'm like, yes, I'm buying this, and I made money on them. So please bring them up, if not just for my own selfish purposes. So please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Appreciate you watching. I appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Really happy getting the number of subscribers that I have now, even though it might seem really low for most YouTubers that have 100, 200,000 subscribers, but we'll be there one day. We will. So have a great Wednesday. Have a great hump day. And we'll see you next time. Bye.